From the Detroit Free Press in the heart of the Motor City, it's Wednesday, September 4th. Here are today's top stories.
I'm Phoebe Wall-Howard, auto writer for the Detroit Free Press. The waiting is over. Factory workers announced on Tuesday their votes to overwhelmingly support a UAW strike if needed at General Motors, Ford, and Fiat Chrysler. The 4-year contract expires at midnight on September 14th. Also Tuesday, union leaders announced that they would negotiate with GM first. Analysts and union members say the UAW chose the toughest route. But targeting GM is also the most unifying after workers have criticized the company for its plan to cut factory jobs in the U.S. while executive pay increases. If workers strike, the UAW has set aside strike pay of $250 a week. Food pantries at local union halls are collecting non-perishables and toiletries as families brace for the worst. They say they refuse to take pay or benefit cuts as automakers make money. GM says, quote, "We look forward to constructive discussions." Stay tuned for more at freep.com.
John Gallagher here from the Detroit Free Press, reporting that the Detroit comeback story that you've heard about is adding yet another new chapter. It's a top-to-bottom revival of the city's Book Tower, one of those 1920s skyscrapers that graced the city's skyline for many years, but that now has sat empty for a long time. The owner, billionaire Dan Gilbert of the Cleveland Cavaliers fame, yes, that Dan Gilbert, has lined up a new architect, LDA, out of New York, to craft the renovations. The public gets a sneak peek this weekend at an open house.
For the Free Press, I'm opinion writer Nancy Kaffer, and I am so excited to tell you what I learned. States like Florida and Massachusetts are better at education than Michigan. Birmingham or West Bloomfield are probably doing better than your district. But when you walk into a school in Massachusetts, or Birmingham, what does a great classroom look like? Detroit Superintendent Nikolai Vitti told me. When you walk into a school, Vitti says, the hall should be quiet. Staff say good morning, they ask how you're doing. In the classroom, the board says what the kids are learning. Ask a student what she's learning, she can tell you, and it matches what's on the board and what the teacher is teaching. Students are engaged by the teacher, by each other. Questions the teacher asks gets kids to think, not recite dates and names. Students are writing essays, short answer questions, making supported arguments, not just scripted notes. Vitti says that's intentionality and engagement. And from now on, that's how I'll look at classrooms.
We say thanks for the memories to a Red Wing who has decided to retire. I'm Kirkland Crawford for the Free Press Sports Department. Detroit Red Wings defenseman Niklas Kronwall announced on Tuesday that he's hanging up his skates after 15 seasons in the NHL. The 38-year-old Swede was one of few players remaining from the Red Wings' glory years, but he played through a chronic knee condition that slowed him down over the past few seasons. He will most be remembered for his bone-crunching hits that actually became a catchphrase, Kronwall. He's moving into the front office of the Red Wings under his ex-teammate, Steve Yzerman. For a deeper look back at his career, check out Helena St. James's column right now at freep.com.
Ah, the overdue library fine. Most of us have been there. You check out a book and accidentally keep it a little too long. If you can't afford the late fee, you might just hold on to it. If you've ever been in that situation, Detroit Public Library has some good news for you. As of this week, the library system won't charge overdue fees anymore. It'll also cancel any outstanding fees you might still have in the system. If you bring back your overdue item, you can start borrowing again fee-free. Library members will still have to pay charges for lost or damaged items. Detroit joins libraries across the nation that are reconsidering their fine systems in efforts to be more accessible. This summer, a Grand Rapids area library system also went fine-free. Detroit will enforce returns by making sure members can't check out new items till they brought their old ones back. For the Detroit Free Press, I'm Emma Keith.
For more stories from the Detroit Free Press, be sure to check out freep.com. That's FREEP.com. And sign up for the daily briefing newsletter. See you tomorrow.